Alright, so let's break down the mechanics real quick, guys. Carrion Plague, it's a pretty nasty dot that you do not get rid of until phase 2. Even though it says it lasts for 40 seconds, it'll automatically refresh due to Seeker Swarm. Seeker Swarm, basically get your group that has like the people that got Carrion Plague, get them out of the group. He's going to cast this, and in a line between Tichondrius and the people that have Carrion Plague, he will infect everybody else with it, and then it does some moderate shadow damage also. It's not too bad, but that dot being on everybody, it gets impossible because it does start ramping up damage, it seems. I don't know if that's supposed to have happened, but it does. The next ability is Brand of Argus, big circle that goes underneath you. You'll have to set this off to where it basically explodes, and you want to do it. It seemed to affect 2 people at the same time, and also how many people to get in there to blow it up is going to depend on your raid size. But you want to blow this thing up controlled, and then get everyone healed back up, and then blow up the next one, and kind of keep that under control. Vampiric Aura is another ability. Tichondrius' allies within 30 yards are healed for 400% of the damage dealt by melee attacks. That's a big deal because you've got Feast for Blood on the tanks, and what this is going to do, it's going to increase their physical damage taken by 15%, and it also summons 3 Tainted Bloods that fixate to you. You're going to have to get these the hell out of the group before you can kill them, but basically kite them as quick as possible get out. Great mobility tanks are going to be awesome for this, and then you're going to want to kill off these Tainted Bloods fast before they kill the tank. But yeah, just a simple deal, guys. You want to kill them quick, you want to get them out of the group, or they're going to end up healing all the way back up. Echoes of the Void's another one. Basically, he's going to bring up 4 spires, and you're going to want to put the spire between you and the boss. We've seen this mechanic multiple times. Just basically, you're going to line of sight the boss with these pillars and reduce all that damage. Had a lot of issues with people getting behind it because it is a fast cast, and it does a lot of damage and ramps up if you take a long time to get back there. So, alright, and then all we got left is Stage 2, Shadow of Terror. Basically, Tichondrius turns into Bat Boy, and he just casts a shadow line across the ground. No big deal here. Didn't really get to this point too much, so keep a lookout on it, and we're going to run right into some content for you guys. So here we are, guys. This is Tichondrius in fight. So few things to explain. You'll see the brands going on the people. The big green circle is really easy mechanic to deal with, but for having a very short amount of time, it took us a while to get it all figured out. But that's why I'm here. That's why I'm bringing this to you. Basically, these brands, they don't do a hell of a lot, but you're going to want to get your group to blow these up controlled. You can see how we got them spread, one on one side, one on the other, and now we've got 4 of them. We're not controlling these, and eventually this is going to cause us to wipe. But you want to do a controlled explosion on these brands. We tried going on this one without blowing them up, and you're going to see what happens here in just a second, to where they kind of go kerpop on their own. Not a good thing at all. These are the pillars you want to hide behind. Simple mechanics here. It's just a matter of paying attention of what's going on. I figure a lot of people here will get better with it when they've got a deadly boss mod or something, giving them a counter, letting them know in advance to do it. It's not a hard concept at all with this fight, guys. Basically, the whole tanking strategy, there is a tank swap, but it's not a tank swap. You'll see they'll end up, one of the people will give Vampiric Mark, 3 bloods will come up. That's when the other tank taunts the boss, and you have to drag the bloods to the other side of the room to get it out of the aura so you can kill them down. Rinse, repeat. That's what the tanks are doing in this fight. That's it. The only thing is you have to get those bloods down fast because it comes up pretty quick on each one. But you'll see us, a little couple pulls later, you'll see where we actually start working on trying to coordinate on blowing up these brands. So keep an eye out on that. The other ability that he's using is the, you can see up in my debuff corner, that's the Plague. we finally decided after a while that we were going to segregate everybody over by where Triangle's at that had the plague. Currently, we aren't doing that. And the reason for it is you'll watch, keep an eye out. There's Carrion Swarm. Anybody that is between you and the boss when that goes out, they're going to end up getting the plague also, and it's going to automatically refresh. The only way to get rid of this thing is to go into phase 2 when Tichondrius turns himself into a bunch of bats and disappears. That is the only way to end up really getting rid of that debuff. You got to make sure it goes through that phase 2 section, and we only got to phase 2 once, and I'm not sure if it's time based, I'm not sure if it's hit point based, but either way, one time was the only time that we ended up getting there. We had a lot of tunneling that was going on also, unfortunately, to where people were just tunneling the boss instead of swapping the ads. A lot of different things. This was just another pickup group that I was in. We were also short heals. The druids seemed to have been lagging for most of it. That was a hard deal. And then we also ended up having just 3 of us to begin with for... You'd think 15 people be alright, but current content, we might have needed another one. We do end up getting more DPS on our later progressions. We do get further into the progression, but at the same time, I was the entire time. Yes, I am back on the Mistweaver because that, again, somebody needed a healer, and I was already on it, so I stayed with it and went to it. So, that being said, this is phase 2. Fairly simple mechanics, guys. It doesn't break until you kill the bats off, but he just sits there and pops up and does this little line. That's the only thing he does. And then the orbs that are on the ground, this is not mentioned in the dungeon journal. You pick those up, they give you damage buff while you're in here to help you get the bats down faster, and then supposedly it lingers for another 30 seconds so you can get more damage on Tichondrius. So just something to keep in mind. But guys, go ahead, watch this. I'll get back with you at the end of the video. Just watch for some of the mechanics we went over in the beginning. It doesn't look like a hard fight, but this is the Nighthold. This is supposed to be the hardest dungeon out of the 3, or hardest instance out of the 3 of the raids that they're releasing. And Tichondrius is somewhere in the middle. Basically, I guess you do 2 first bosses or 1 first boss. And then this opens up to where you can branch to any one of the other boss before you get funneled back down into the last 2. That's the way I kind of was told, and it was expressed by Blizzard how it was going to play out on this one in a blue post by, I want to say it was Watcher himself, so Hazakastas, whatever. But he's the one that ended up actually throwing this stuff out, saying how the layouts were going to work on these dungeons. And the Tichondrius is supposed to be one of the middle ones, so he's not supposed to be too difficult. We were scaled up to an appropriate item level, not overgeared, but right on it. And again, this is alpha, this is raid testing. It's not made to be killed, it's made to be seeing how the mechanics are working out. It's a comfortable fight, guys. It is a pretty good fight, but with a little bit more coordination, and then when they start getting the mods flowing, I could see to where this guy's going to be dumbed down pretty good with a good strategizing team. So, again, watch the fight, check out the mechanics, check out the carrion stuff, and I will get back to you at the end, alright? Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Tichondrius raid test on April Fool's Day. Go figure, 4-1, and they were messing with us, a lot of DCs with this raid testing. But it was still fun, guys. I'm glad I was able to get this out for you. If you do like it, hit that, smack that like button, guys. It helps get it out to everyone else so they can find out. You can share these videos. I don't mind at all with that. And also, if you're not already subscribed, subscribe up. That'll end up making it to where you get to see all the newest content that's coming out from the alpha. I'm trying to be as on top of it as possible. Again, thank you for everything, and I hope you enjoyed watching.